Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to do a quick one. Pan covers, underalls, wax paper, peat moss. What should you use for your trap? So let's get into it. All right guys, so today we're going to be talking about pan covers and underalls and a bunch of other little things. It really depends on where you live and how you want to trap, depending on what you're going to use. I use underalls. What is an underall? What's the point of it? So I have this trap here. This is a Bridger number 2. This is the kind of trap I like to use. I have my pan real high for this demonstration. But as I'm putting this trap down in the ground, down in the dirt, I'm going to be packing dirt around inside the jaws and outside the jaws so that trap won't move. That way, if a coyote, a fox, any of the critters you're going after comes up to that trap, it's not going to wiggle underneath their feet. In doing so, sometimes you can pack too much dirt underneath that pan. When that animal steps on that pan, it's going to prevent that trap from going off. So they've invented, of course, they figured this out over time. You need something to prevent dirt from getting underneath that. Some people will use the latex pan cover method. Some people use the screen method. They make them out of aluminum, and I think they make them out of like some sort of fiber material, carbon fiber, something like that. I'm not really 100% sure on that. Same stuff you'd get, you know, for your screen at your house. But they'll use that to cover them up. Now I don't use that here because I got a lot of clay, moisture gets through, and it just is going to make everything freeze up. I like to use foam, and as usual for my videos, I'm going to put a little short video at the end of this, just a little run through of, you know, where I get these things, what they're used for. So let me just kind of show you how this works. All right, so I got my trap. Let's say I just got done setting this trap, and here's my pan cover. Now they sell, or sorry, this is my underall. They sell lots of different kinds. Let me show you. You can read that right there. This says underalls C for square pan traps. All right. So depending on the kind of trap you're going to run, depends on what kind of underall you'd get. It also depends on what kind of pan cover you'd get, because they sell them in different sizes. So you're going to have to measure your trap, or at least look it up. Most of the time, if you go to F&T Post, their website's right there, fntpost.com. They make it pretty simple for you to understand. But this is all you're doing. You're putting that foam underneath of that pan just like that. So when this trap is covered with dirt and everything's set and ready to go, that right there is going to let it snap whenever pressure is put down onto the pan. I'll show you that later. Another thing I see, even big name trappers will do this. They'll take just wax paper, and they'll rip it up, cut it with scissors sometimes, but most of the time I always catch Dunlap doing that. It makes me laugh. You know, he's got his own lure and bait business. He's probably got plenty of people that are willing to throw sponsorships at him, and you see him out there with wax paper. I just always think that's really cool. The thriftiness of trappers and how they're always just trying to figure out the best way to do it. So I'm attempting to rip something off camera, what I think's about right, but I could be really wrong. This is an easy way to do this, and plus, you know, you can get wax paper pretty much at any store. But you rip off a piece of wax paper that you think is going to be good for your trap, and crumble it all up so it's not making noise under that ground if something steps near it. Open it back up, and they lay it on top of the trap. Sometimes they tuck it underneath the jaw, however you find easiest for you to do it. I don't like doing this just because it seems like I have to put a lot more dirt on there to get everything covered. That's another reason why I got away from using the latex pan covers. I bought the, I can't remember if it was the 6x6 or 7x7, but when I would lay it on top of my trap, the corners would come up just like this, and I'd have to put a lot more dirt, and sometimes that corner of that latex would be sticking out. Now I could have bought a real big one and covered it, but it just kind of seemed ridiculous. So I started using the underalls last year, and I really liked them. I mentioned it earlier. A lot of this depends on your climate, your temperature, what's going on in your neck of the woods. So if you're down south and you have a lot warmer weather, the screens might work really good for you. If you're not having freeze-thaw conditions, it's a little bit easier if you're not. If you are having freeze-thaw conditions, you're probably going to have to go with latex, or you're probably going to have to go with this. Now, some substitutes that I've seen people use, insulation. I wouldn't want to use the fiberglass insulation, but anything that's scent-free that you can stick underneath of that pan would work. I've seen people use leaves, like big leaves they find out in the woods, leaf off a tree, and put that on top as a pan cover. I've seen people use peat moss, and I've done the peat moss method myself. You can get peat moss at your Home Depot, your Lowe's, Walmart's, things like that. and they'll take that peat moss dry and they'll pack the inside of their trap with the peat moss and then cover the rest of the trap with dirt. Or if they use peat moss for the whole thing, I mean, that's up to them, but that also helps. The only thing I don't like about peat moss is once peat moss gets wet, it's officially wet. It doesn't dry out any faster than regular dirt, in my opinion. So it's a lot lighter to carry out in the woods. I think that's why a lot of people like it. But right now I'm gonna roll some footage of some just different kind of pan covers you can get and lots of different options out there. So check this out. If you've been following along with this series and picking up some different things for the trap line, I just want to thank you so much. Also, I hope that this is being helpful to you. I'm trying to make a sport that has lots of different moving parts. I'm trying to make it a little bit easier for the person that just hasn't ever done it or hasn't had somebody show them how to do it. My father is a hunter, loves to hunt, but he didn't trap, you know, growing up. He wasn't into trapping, that wasn't his thing. So I learned how to trap from online videos. And I'll tell you, it took me a lot of searching to figure out some of this information. My goal was to put all of this in one spot to make it easier for that beginner trapper out there. So thank you guys again so much for watching. You know, as always, God bless, tight chains, and I'll see you in the next one.